Okay, so here we are putting together the SoftScape framework. As you can see, all 3 feet are on the ground, and now we're pulling out the tubes. Ryan is pulling out the tubes, and each one is marked with a number, isn't it?
Yes.
So all you do is match the number to each piece. Okay, Ryan is joining the tubes now. You'll see where the codes lock. Okay, so we have C09 and C09 going together. Okay, Ryan is going to mount the center quad piece to the center foot. Please make note that there is a front and a back to this frame, so make sure that the frame is facing back with the back logo or label. Okay, as far as putting up the graphic, you've got a couple of options, David. One is if it's a clean area, you could lay it on front of the booth on the carpeted area and pull the frame down to meet it. It would be a big help if you had somebody to help you do that. So once you get it over top, then you can use one guy can just go back and forth and pull the graphic down. When it gets to a certain spot, it'll start coming down all on its own. It's real simple. Now it will sit nice and taut on the frame too as well. The reason you need to know the front and the back is because the center foot is not exactly center, and if you don't have it in the right spot, you won't be able to zip it up from under. David, the next thing you want to do is pull from the bottom and hook the zippers and do up the zipper. There should be 2 zippers on each graphic. This is probably the toughest part of the entire setup. Well, for some. I'm just taking a shot at Ryan here. Okay, so please note, now it's up complete on the actual graphic itself. One thing to take note, make sure you don't cross-thread the zippers. Take your time, make sure it's sat right in. You'll note on the side there are pieces of tape. This is where the actual clamp. Okay, this is where it takes a little physical strength. You have to squeeze the clamp and make sure that the outlet or the mount is about 90 degrees to the front of the frame. Very important. So on some of these there'll be 3 of them, on some there'll be 4. On this particular one that we're setting up today, it has 4. Okay, the next step is to take the graphic and unfold the image. It's mounted with an acrylic hinge, so be extremely careful with this. Now Ryan is going to take the graphic and using his foot as a support, but we will supply you with a lift. He's going to take it and mount the holes in the graphic to the holes on the knockouts. Once he gets one of them on, he's going to take and just screw one on just to secure it. After he gets that one on, he's going to go down to the next, whichever one fits it first. It's just a matter of lining them up. One thing to note, you might have to adjust the brackets because they might not line up perfectly. It's very important to get that little pinhole exactly right in the hole and make sure that they're cranked. Not too tight, but note that it's a matter of making sure that the graphic sits out nice and proud from the soft fabric. That can be adjusted somewhat by just adjusting or rotating each bracket to get it to the point that you want it. You'll note here on the side you can see the brackets mounted to the frame. It's pretty easy. Okay, this is a matter of joining the LED lighting together. Please take your time. It's a 4-pin process. You have to make sure they go on the right way. There's a north and south on these. So take your time. We'll make sure that they're marked so that you know which ones go which. Okay, once you've joined about 2 or 3, the lights magnetize to the inside of the actual graphic. So start at the top and run them down all the way, one at a time if you need to. There's only 8 of them. Once you mount all 8, there's the little white transformer that plugs into the bottom. Smart to take your time doing this and making sure everything works. That little transformer plugs into the 12-volt AC adapter. Okay, we've set this up and you can start to see the lights transforming. Bring in the controller, Ryan, under the camera. There's the controller, and you can muck around with this. Click it on different lights. Once the lights are set up, you can muck around with the variations. There's the controller. The controller does not control the lights in the proper way. It really is just a matter of getting the light that you want. So if you push certain buttons, for instance, you've also got to make sure that you're connected to the actual transformer. You can see that you can get a white light, blue light, different fade effects. In this instance, I'm not sure which one they'll want. You can hand this over to Roger and he can make the call. The last stage is just putting up the clamp lights. We'll try to put a little piece of tape or a mark as to where we want them on the graphic. And they're just a screw clamp from the back. That being said, make sure that you're careful not to rip or tear the fabric. Other than that, that's